Hey guys, it's Josh from the Review Brothers here, and today I'm going to be reviewing Spike Lee's newest Netflix film, Da 5 Bloods. Oh my god, where do I start with this film? It's phenomenal. It is Spike Lee's masterpiece. I 100% believe that. He's topped himself from his last film, BlacKkKlansman, which you definitely should go check out as well, as I'm going to say this. Da 5 Bloods is relevant, important, and impactful. It is an incredibly powerful film that resonates with you from beginning to end, and it must be watched by everyone. Right now is a very tense time in the world, and there's so much injustice going on, and it's so wrong, and it needs to, the rights are being written, and things are happening, and change is actually starting to happen. With that being said, we need powerful pieces like this in cinema. And what Spike Lee's doing is brilliant. He's using his platform, he's using the platform of cinema to bring out these issues even more, highlighting them, talking about them, and showing them. This film's powerful because it's relevant to what's going on right now, and this is what he's been doing for years and years and years, and I commend him for it, because this is how change happens, by giving a voice to your platform. He has a very big platform. His films do very well. For him to make his films so impactful and so relevant and so interesting all at the same time is brilliant, because he's using his platform to create change. He's using that platform to get people thinking. He's a brilliant director for this. And Da 5 Bloods creates an entertaining film with great characters that is still relevant and impactful and super powerful and definitely worth your time. It is about the same length as the film I reviewed yesterday, and it uses every minute of that. And this film, unlike the other one, uses every minute to create something different and unique on screen, and to keep you interested and keep the message alive and keep what is happening in the film interesting. Every scene is different. The scene structure, the story structure is fantastic. You don't feel the runtime in this film, because I started this film, and when I ended this film, I couldn't even believe it had been 2 hours and 34 minutes. It flew by, because this film has great characters. This film has fantastic acting performances. And this film has a story that goes all over the map, but in a good way. It goes from a treasure hunt epic into a film about PTSD war veterans, into a film about racial tension, race relations, police brutality, and talks about all of these issues within that runtime, and creates a film that is so impactful, so powerfully resonant, and so emotionally driven that by the end credits, you will feel something. And this film made me care about these characters so much. And I'm not going to spoil what happens, because you need to check this out. But by the end of the film, I cried. I cried for those characters. And I was upset at the outcomes of some of this film, because I loved some of these characters. And I thought these characters were fantastic. Because these characters felt real. They felt genuine. I connected with them because they felt like real people. They weren't robots. They were real people. They weren't actually, but they didn't feel like characters in a movie. They felt like real people. And that's where I have to give props to the script. Spike Lee, Kevin Willmott, they put together an absolutely phenomenal script here. And that's driven to the fact that the character development is fantastic in this film. And the way the characters interact with each other is fantastic, because the dialogue doesn't feel like dialogue. It feels like real conversations. And that is very hard to pull off. So I say that you need to check out this film, because you do. It is so powerful and so interesting that you can go back to it 100 times over, never get bored, rewatch the film, and still get the message. because the message is always going to be there. And that message in that film invokes people to think. This film is powerful because it gets you thinking, and it gets you upset at times, and it gets you outraged. The heroes in this film represent everything that needs to everything that needs that people want to change, and the villains represent everything that actually needs to change. The villains are exactly all the represent all the injustice, all the horrible, terrible things happening in the world right now, and the heroes represent all of the people trying to create that change, trying to change the world for better, and trying to just live and live their lives and not be, unjustly treated. This film shows the good and the bad of everything, and it shows that these villains are counterproductive, regressive, and horrible, like the world we're living in. And that's why this film's powerful, because everything in this film matters. And everything in this film matters because of the context of how they make everything matter. They put all of these topics within the film, and they don't feel shoehorned in, and they don't feel forced at all. They just feel like they need to be there. Without them, this film isn't as powerful, it isn't as emotional, and it doesn't drive you to think afterwards. And those choices are what make The Five Bloods more than just another war film, more than just another adventure romp. It makes it one of the most impactful films of this coming generation, and I can believe that because we are now in a generation of 2020, and a lot is happening. But I can see that this film is going to be the most powerful, one of the most, if not the most powerful film that comes out this year. From an emotional standpoint, from a relevancy standpoint of what's going on right now, and from a filmmaking standpoint. That being said, let's get into pros and cons. There are no cons. There are only pros. The music choices are all wonderful. The score paired with all of the beautiful music from Marvin Gaye, and all of the incredible bands featured in this film. The cast is wonderful, and the acting performances are fantastic. Specifically, Delroy Lindo, who gives one of the best performances of his career, playing the character of Paul. There's Jonathan Majors, there's Clark Peters, there's Norm Lewis, there's Isaiah Whitlock Jr., there's Melanie Theriere, there's Paul Walter Hauser, there's Jasper Pocanone. They all knock it out of the park. This film's fantastic because the acting feels real. The dialogue feels real. Everything about this felt real and resonant and important. Every character matters, and that's important, because if every character doesn't matter, then the film isn't interesting. But they make every character matter. You feel for literally every character. I not only cried, I yelled out the word no at some point in this film. I was so upset at one of the things that happened in this film. It hurt me to see what happened to some of these characters. It destroyed me because I literally got so enamored with these characters and became so immersed in the film. And that's what great cinema does. It shows you what's going on, but it also takes you away for a few hours. This film took me back to the Vietnam War in modern day, and still was able to show everything else going on in the world, and made a film interesting and powerful. And I keep going back to the word powerful because it is so powerful. You need to check out this film. You're doing yourself a disservice if you don't. It is on Netflix right now. It is one of Spike Lee's best films. And from the direction to the incredible script to the amazing cast and wonderful acting performances and incredible score mixed with amazing music that syncs up every scene, including pacing that doesn't actually wear and tear on you. A film that you can watch that you will not feel like you sat through a crazy amount of of time. You won't feel this runtime. This film's fantastic. It is, I believe it is it is a masterpiece from Spike Lee, and I will go back and watch it hundreds of times over and tell all my friends about it because it is important. Anyways, guys, 10 out of 10. This has been Josh and the Review Brothers. Like, comment, and subscribe. Peace.